It is Friday evening and it's time for another snow and ice storm update as we're going into our third day of this event. But here are some snow and ice totals that have happened thus far. Salem, half of an inch of ice. I've also heard of some power outages. Portland's official total as of 6 p.m. is 4.8 inches. I've heard of 8-inch reports in Gresham, but lower totals on the west side with some ice as well, and 16 inches of fresh powder up at Timberline on Mount Hood. Yesterday, the only real issue that happened with my forecast was that the sleet snow line did occur a little further north than I anticipated. This means that the warm pocket that is over us is a little deeper, which could affect snow chances for you in the southern and western half of the metro area. The historical records that are still in jeopardy are the snowiest February day and the snowiest February, but one record has been broken is the daily low-high temperature, which is now 30 degrees in both Portland and Salem. The updated watches and warning map includes now a winter storm warning for the entire Cascades, Columbia Gorge, Portland metro area on up to Seattle, and the northern Oregon Coast Range, with an ice storm warning for you in Salem, McMinnville, and the central Oregon Coast Range. For Corvallis, Eugene, and the northern Oregon coast, you're looking at a winter weather advisory, mainly for ice. And this is how the tonight system will be set up. There's two real scenarios that I think could happen. The first would be that this comes in north of Willapa Bay. The second would be comes in south somewhere between Willapa Bay and Seaside. This would, depending on which occurs, this would drastically impact snow totals in the Portland area and also ice totals for you in the southern half of the metro area and the western half. On the first scenario, with the low going north of Willapa Bay, the Central Valley will likely receive somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and an inch of ice, with Corvallis first pulling out of it, slowly moving north. The western and southern half of the metro area will receive mainly sleet and freezing rain. Maybe some of you will transition over to snow. And in the northern and eastern half of the metro area, on up north, you'll receive somewhere between 6 and 12 inches of snow, or if the snow/sleet line gets north enough, an equivalent amount of that. Our other scenario, which is the low coming south of Willapa Bay, the areas in like McMinnville onto Malala may receive some isolated snow amounts up to 2 inches. It would probably be on heavier bands only. In the southern and western half of the metro area, this is a wildcard zone. It really depends on where the snow/sleet band sets up and how deep that warm pocket really stays, and also how strong that gorge wind is. If it's further south, I don't see it going any further south than about Wilsonville, but it could not change at all. So really, you could be in either the northern portion where you're likely to receive somewhere between 6 to 12 inches, or the southern portion, which you're probably going to receive 1/4 of an inch to an inch of ice or sleet, mainly sleet for most of you. On both scenarios, the Cascades will score another foot to 2 feet. Eugene will receive mainly nothing. The Gorge, probably another 8 to 16 inches, and Eastern Oregon, Eastern Washington, somewhere between 3 and 7 inches. For Sunday into Monday's event, this is the next systems. I did not post totals for the Portland area because that really is going to depend on how tonight into tomorrow pans out. So, if the low slides south of Willapa Bay tonight, that would set up at least a chance of freezing rain again for the western and southern half of the metro area. However, under both scenarios, freezing rain will likely happen for the northern and eastern half of the metro area, and should tonight's low slide south of Willapa Bay, there can be some snow with this setup. However, any snow that does occur would be brief and less than 2 inches, except for in the Columbia River Gorge proper. Cascade snow levels will be 4,500 feet or higher. You'll receive somewhere between 6 and 18 inches. Snow levels will be a little lower in eastern Oregon, seeing somewhere between 2 and 6 inches. The event totals I didn't change, still somewhere between 8 and 20 inches or an equivalent amount of sleet or freezing rain for the Portland area. Somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and 1.25 inches of ice for the Central Valley, 2 to 4 feet for the Cascades, and 16 to 32 inches for the Gorge. This will make travel difficult for anyone going through there until about Wednesday, when all that finally gets down to a reasonable level. Probably won't all be melted by Wednesday, though. For Corvallis's and the central/southern valleys, 7-day outlook. Tomorrow's your last day in this winter weather pattern. Some freezing rain to wake up tomorrow. Maybe some snowflakes mixed in, but as a mild southerly wind kicks in, your highs should top out somewhere around 40 degrees, but that is highly uncertain because it really depends on when that southerly wind kicks in. If it kicks in earlier, could see that bumping up a few degrees. If it kicks in super late, you may not get out of the mid-30s. However, afterwards, it slowly creeps back up to a typical pattern for mid-February, highs in the mid to upper 40s, with it being mainly rain. The lone dry day, as of right now, is Wednesday. For the Portland area, I'm still predicting record cold for your high temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. Big pockets of freezing rain for both Saturday and Sunday as well, before finally retreating into Monday morning. Most of you won't even see freezing rain on Monday morning. The lone exception would probably be Troutdale and Fairview, like Far East Metro. After that, your high temperatures will be back to what it should be for mid-February in the mid to upper 40s. That is it for tonight. So if you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comment section down below or on the Facebook post that I will be posting this on. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Don't travel unless if you have to. The roads are very slick. Otherwise, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.